The Office of the Commissioner for Burns strives for a better tomorrow for all humankind. It is for this reason, for this better tomorrow, that we believe there must be nuclear disarmament, global governance, and human rights for everyone in the international community. We must continue to rid the world of nuclear weapons. These dangerous killing machines were only used twice, both during World War II and both by the United States of America. Hiroshima and Nagasaki and Japan were devastated by atomic bombs, and millions of innocent people were killed. Nuclear power should be used for energy and only for energy, not to cut short the lives of innocent humans. Right now, there are over 26,000 nuclear weapons in the world. This is more than enough to destroy the entire human race. Of these 26,000, 95% belong to the United States and the Russian Federation. In addition, there are up to 2 million kilograms of highly enriched uranium in the global reserves, and it only takes about 15 to 24 kilograms to make a nuclear weapon. About 27 countries have enough uranium in their reserves to make a nuclear weapon. Petroleum created by nuclear reactors can also be used to make bombs. We must make efforts to assure that the uranium and petroleum are used for the greater good and not to build devices to hurt and kill fellow human beings. We believe that we must try and prevent the growth of nuclear weapons all over the world. Their use is too destructive to humankind. Nuclear radiation effects can be dangerous, as seen when looking back upon Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Many of the deaths were not caused by the actual explosions, but by radiation sickness. In his book, Nagasaki, 1945, Dr. Iseki wrote about the symptoms that suddenly appeared in certain patients with no apparent injuries within 7 to 10 days after the explosions. People began to die of burns that covered their bodies, turning their skin to a mulberry color. Like worms, many survivors suffered from cataracts, leukemia, and other cancers in future years. Maintaining and creating a nuclear bomb is also very expensive and takes up a large share of a country's defense budget. This money can be better allocated towards a goal of world peace rather than making a bomb for use of world destruction. We must encourage the leaders across the globe to use nuclear power for energy and not creating bombs that do nothing but destroy human life. The Office of the Commissioner for Burns also believes in global governance. We need to work together with other nations to fix common problems. The President of the United States, His Excellency Barack Obama, talked about world peace and working together in his speech to the UN General Assembly yesterday. He spoke about the difficulties of peace, but the tide of war is rescinding, with the United States taking troops out of Afghanistan and Iraq and the death of Osama bin Laden. We stand at the crossroads of history with a chance to move decisively in the direction of peace, as stated by Barack Obama. In his speech, he talked about how the international community has supported freedom in many dramatic ways recently. The peaceful independence of South Sudan and nonviolent oustings of dictators in Tanzania and Egypt, and military interventions to overthrow Muammar Gaddafi of Libya, Laurent Gbagbo of the Ivory Coast. Obama has supported global governance for a long time. The 2010 National Security Strategy stated in a world where new centers of influence would shape the diplomatic options, international cooperation was necessary. The NSS also stated that as influence extends to more countries and capitals, we must build new and deeper partnerships in every region and strengthen the international standards and institutions. So far, the Obama administration has made good on its promise to work together with other countries. Every effort has been made to reestablish a good relationship with countries like Russia and China. Washington and Beijing work together closely to combat the global financial crisis. This summer, the United States and China pushed through governance reform of the IMF. Obama has visited India last year and also endorsed India's claim for a permanent seat on the UN Security Council. We continue to support the United States' willingness to work together with other countries to create a better tomorrow for everyone. We also believe in human rights for all, regardless of their nationality, sex, age, ethnicity, religion, race, or sexual orientation. All people have equal rights simply for being human. We fully support yesterday's appeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and the rights for lesbian, gay, and bisexual and transgender people. While this act did not allow the military to discriminate against closet homosexuals, it barred openly gay, lesbian, or bisexual people from being in the military. We applaud President Obama, the Secretary of Defense, Leon Panetti, and Admiral Mike Mellon for certifying that a repeal of this act will not harm the effectiveness of the military. We must also focus very aggressively on the rights of people living in the Middle East, especially Sudan. The independent experts for human rights situation in Sudan, Mohammed Chad Atman, told the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva that their situation has many challenges. The recent fighting in the southern Kordofan state between government forces and rebel Sudan People Liberation Army has abuses on both sides. There has been a drop in the overall violence in the Darfur region of western Sudan, but serious crimes are not being punished. We support his call for thorough investigation into violations of international law. South Sudan, which seceded from Sudan in July, has also seen the deaths of hundreds of civilians, with 640 dying last month, in just one incident between two warring tribes. The government of South Sudan now has the opportunity to build a democratic and prosperous country founded on the principles of the rule of law and human rights. Atman stated, "We cannot agree more, and we call on the international community to assist Sudan and South Sudan in this time of need." President Obama also called out the regimes of Iran and Syria yesterday in his speech to the United Nations General Assembly. In Iran, the government does not recognize the rights of its own people, and in Syria, people are being tortured, detained, and murdered by the Assad regime. President Obama talked about the dignity and courage of the Syrians have used in pursuit of justice, protested nonviolently, standing silently in the streets and dying for the values they believe in. He called upon the UN Security Council to sanction the Syrian regime and to support the Syrian people. We support this entirely. President Obama also stated that America supports Yemen's peaceful transfer to a movement of free and fair elections, that Bahrain needs to make more improvements in their terms of human rights. He stated the United States will always support nations that transfer to democracy. Our final thought can be summarized by an inspiration quote from President Obama. "We will stand up for the universal rights that were embraced by this assembly. Those rights depend upon elections that are free and fair, governance that is transparent and accountable, respect for the rights of women and minorities, and justice that is equal and fair. That is what our people deserve. Those are elements of peace that lasts."